Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and today I wanted to do a review on this Hatteker cordless hair trimmer. Personally, I've been trimming my own hair for like 7 years now, and I started by just getting it cheap. It was cordless, rechargeable at Walmart. It was like $15 or something, so it was like the price of one haircut to do as many haircuts as I wanted. And it was just terrible from the start. It never even held a charge or anything, so you had to plug it in to use it, so it kind of defeated the purpose. So I used it for several years, and I've been using this one for about 6 months now. And I figured since a lot of people now are trying to cut their hair on their own, and I mean the way I do it requires no skill, I just buzz it all off, or you can use a comb and keep it a little longer, but I do it all the same, nothing fancy here. This is what I bought. I've been using it for about 6 months now, and I think this one has some good advantages over others. I'm sure almost all of them will get the job done, but just to give you an idea what this one brings to the table and maybe what a lot of other ones on Amazon do. Now, one problem I had when I looked at in my purchase history, this listing says it's currently unavailable. So this is the exact one I purchased. I think it was like $35 or so. And I'm not sure, maybe it's just sold out because a bunch of people are buying it, or unless it's been discontinued. This is the specific one I have. I think this one's very comparable. You can see it's $20 more. As good as this one is though, I would still say that that's a fair price. And you also get these extra trimmers. Although I think that middle one there's pretty much what's on this one. But nonetheless, you could either search that model number on eBay. I'm sure you could find some on there, or maybe Amazon will get that back in stock. And then the way it comes packaged is just in a molded. I don't really think that would be very good to store it in, so it's not how I do it. Okay, so here's the trimmer itself. Pretty good to me. You get this base for it. And one of the nice things, and everything else I'll get to it I guess, about this one, and which is different than most of them, is the batteries are swappable and replaceable, and this one came with 2 separate ones. So if you run this one low on charge, you just put this one in, and I guess if they would go bad you could buy new ones, but these are lithium ion. I don't think they'll go bad anytime soon. And it's USB. This all came with it, so you do get the charging adapter, or you can just plug it in via USB, so you can charge it. You can just charge your spare, and that's the there is an indicator LED on the battery itself. Or I've already mixed them up, that's great. But so it just goes back in here. So that's one of the neat things about this model that other ones don't offer. Some of them have larger battery capacities, but I'd rather have 2 removable. But this is still open, so you could still charge it with it in like that. I don't know if there's really anything here that's, you can see the different combs. And that's all you get. And you can see obviously you get the whole set of the ones described. I just put them in this bag, just that what worked for me. But I do use just this protective guard to keep the blades from getting caught on anything or scratched up. And it's pretty simple. You just have these, this is like one of those infomercials where I just don't know what I'm doing. But then you can see it once you get it locked in, but I'm not very used to using these ones. I just use it strictly like this. And of course this couldn't be any harder to pick up on camera. Black's always hard to pick up, but glossy black, you put too much light on it, it's reflective, so it makes it a little bit harder to show things. But you can see, hopefully, that it looks like there's an indentation, but that just holds it in. There's nothing to this. Some of these are like a base, so you could plug your charger into it, and then when you put it in like this, then it's charging. This is just basically a piece of plastic. It does nothing. I don't use it. I set it in my medicine cabinet like this, but when I'm using it, I'll set this on my sink counter, and then that way I can just hold it like that. And one little thing I did is it was sliding around, so I wanted to put those little clear feet on it, but obviously there's no space, so I got a little bit of weather stripping, and that gave me enough surface area, so now it doesn't really want to slide around anymore. And then you also get this little brush, and I always wondered what these were for. I couldn't figure it out, but I think in the instructions this is just to clean any hair that would be lodged in it. And then they give you the world's tiniest bottle of oil that you can put a little drop on the moving parts. I find that this usually makes way more of a mess than anything, so maybe just oil it up when you first get it, and then if it would start to slow down or something. And then one thing that's pretty easy about this one is how easy the head comes off. And it says this is ceramic, and maybe it is, because it does feel like something much harder than plastic, but it still mostly feels like plastic. Like, I don't know how to wear, like when you have like a ceramic dish or plate or something, or watch, like ceramic costs a ton of money, but then it's like some cheap piece of junk in this, so I'm not sure if there's different qualities of ceramic, but it gets the job done. And so far I haven't had any issues. So again, you could use this, or I usually just rinse it under the faucet. And you can kind of see that's all that is the moving part in there. And then you have that little notch, and there's like a little notch down in there, so it's kind of easy to line up. And then it just pops back in, so that's how you can clean it. Although I've noticed with this one, it doesn't seem to have hair get caught in it as easily as other ones. And then one other nice thing is you have this. And my other pair had like the little handle on the side, and you turned it to, so this one's done here. So I guess that's 2.5 millimeters down to 0.5 millimeter. And you can kind of see that ceramic guard, or maybe that's the blade, I don't know, that are housed in that. But that's what I used on the shortest side, is just use that like that, trim my head. Now, as far as the performance goes, I think it's pretty good. It's not as powerful as a corded one. Again, I've never owned a true corded one. The last one I had was nickel cadmium battery. Those are terrible, so it had to be plugged in to use it. But it still wasn't a true corded, so it doesn't, I don't even think it has as much power as it does. But this one doesn't wear out because the lithium ion still runs strong the whole way through. And the other one would just really start to, as the battery would degrade, it would just not have as much power. I did notice the first time I used it when I had longer hair, I could feel it bogging down some, but once, that's like if you kept going. If you just kind of then knock the hair off and then go again, you had your full power back. And I think most people, if you're going to use this trimmer, you're probably going to have shorter hair anyway. If you're doing like a buzz cut, it's not going to be that long anyway. Since I've been using it, I haven't let my hair go more than like a month, and it works fine. If you use it once a week, I mean, there's no issue at all. It's just if you had a really thick head of hair, like let it grow out for 4 or 5 months. But then you're probably not going to want to cut it like this. You'd probably want to use a comb or scissors, so it wouldn't be as much of an issue. But longevity-wise, it holds up. I use it either 5 minutes at a time if my hair is still short, maybe 10 if it's a little longer, or if I have to go over it more. But it holds up. It gets a little warm, but doesn't slow down or anything. And the battery life's great too. I mean, that's one thing. This display doesn't show as much as other ones. and you can hear the power of it. It's not super loud, but it's enough. I'm still at 70%. Again, I got this, I think it was in November, and it's all about May now. And I've only probably used it a little over 10 times. So it depends if you're going to use it every day or something, or once a week, then I'm sure that battery would go lower. But you have this one, and it comes down to how long you use it. But for me, it would be simple, either just charge that up or switch this fresh one in. So battery life, if you're only going to do a quick 5-minute job, I mean, it only went down 30% in like 6 months. So for me, it's working just fine. And then if you charge it, you get the indicator that it's charging and the status of where the battery's at. And then maybe you can see that. It's kind of hard to angle it with the cord. But you can see there, so you can charge it either of those ways. Now, one thing that I saw in a lot of other ones, and the other one at the time that I was deciding between, it had different RPMs that you could choose from. I don't know why you would really use it. Maybe if you're a professional barber or hairstylist or something, but I don't know what the advantage would be. I would just want the most power you can get at all times, I would think. So I like this adjustment here and the removable battery over. So that's not on this one. There are some different things on other ones, but to me, this one's just basic, but it's really good at it. And for again, $30 to $50, depending on which model, having the extra battery and the reliability, it seems that it gets the job done. That's really all there needs to be said about it. So all in all, I would imagine probably most of these lower end kind of no-name brand trimmers on Amazon, they probably all are in this ballpark. They'd probably all get the job done. This is a specific one that I'm using. I think maybe it's an advantage again to have 2 batteries, but I think you really can't go wrong with any of them. They're not too expensive, and it just makes it easier. I haven't really needed to even think about having to go have my hair done anywhere, but I don't really have that much left to begin with, so just keep using this to buzz my hair, and for as long as it'll hold up, it's been doing the job great. So hopefully this gives you an option about this particular one or any of them. It works out nicely. So thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Have a good one.